welcome to our July garden tour, July 2026. Today is the 22nd of July, and I'm actually doing this a bit late because we've had a lot going on. Part of it includes finally getting to clear this junk pile out little by little, but there's more. First, I'll start with our blocks over here with the strawberries. They're looking pretty good, surprisingly good, for being transplanted here last fall. And here's Stinky, he squeaks. And had to do some adjusting on this bed here. The sunflowers are starting to get pretty tall, so I've actually moved the netting up, and the hoop rods are holding the netting up and keeping the deer out, and it's still wrapped around to keep the cats out. And I actually do have some melons growing, starting to train them up the fence. This is the Black Russian sunflower on this side. And then we have some winter squash over here. And yes, some are going up the fence, and some have even started blooming. And on this side we've got the mammoth sunflowers, which are getting quite tall. And this is the super sugar snap peas, starting to grow up the fence over here and even climbing the sunflowers. So that's this bed. And then we go on across here, and here's something new. A 10-foot length of log over here that will eventually be part of a summer kitchen I plan to build. And we got the asparagus growing and getting their berries, and the sunchokes are growing, and some flowers that have seeded themselves from before we even moved here are surviving, and this area is doing all right. And so we've been slowly managing to actually keep the yard clear. It's been very difficult because it's been so wet, so much rain, and this area turns into a jungle of grass. But I was able to reclaim some of it. And we have this bed here. My purple cabbages, my leggy purple cabbages. I've taken the cover off because the seed onions were coming through the net, the wire mesh. And unfortunately, just taking the cover off, I ended up breaking a couple of them because they were stuck in the wire. So we do have, it does look like an Uzbek golden carrot down there. My single jabutic lettuce, letting that go to seed. And it does look like some of the cabbage is trying to form heads, kind of, sort of, but I don't think they're gonna manage it. They just don't get enough light here, and hopefully we'll be able to get rid of these trees next. We'll talk about that later. On this side, we got Swiss chard is coming up. There you are. I got just a couple of Uzbek golden carrots came up out of the old seeds. Some spinach trying to come up. It's all bolting. The tiny bok choy is all bolting, but I'm going to let those go to seed. And we've got a few surviving kohlrabi. Oh, you can't see a thing. Let's see. There's some kohlrabi over there. And there's the, come on, that's the bok choy. And there's the chard. Yeah. So, not the most successful bed, but it is managing. And then we have our tomatoes. So this is the orange currant tomatoes over here, getting very bushy. One of them didn't make it, so I transplanted a winter squash over here. And then I believe over there, this empty one, I transplanted, I believe that's a melon. They probably won't have enough season left to mature, but they have a chance at least. These are the blueberry tomatoes, and I actually have one. Oh yeah, just keeping me company. And then on the back here we have the Manitoba tomatoes, and got plenty of flowers. It still looks like just one actual tomato, but they're getting nice and tall. And then over here, the beans are finally, the surviving beans are growing. But more importantly, the Arikara squash is doing so well. I am so happy, especially after last year's failure. So this one's getting big, and I'm starting to train it to go out in this direction. And we've got, that'll be a female flower over there, and over here. And more importantly, at the same time, we've got some male flower buds coming up. So a chance of pollination is actually going to be there. We might actually get Arikara squash this year. Before I move on to the next area, here is one of our major changes. This pile of wood is from an elm tree that had been threatening our roof and lifting these blocks up and cracking our basement wall. They're going to come back with a stump grinder, but we don't know how we're going to get this tire off. But oh my goodness, it is so great to no longer have this threatening our roof. Yeah, so this one is gone. And there's a couple of pieces of spruce over here. And that spruce was also something that was threatening our roof. And go over here. So this is where our septic truck has to squeeze through. So this stump is nice and low, and the truck doesn't have to worry about running into it. But I've been able to get into this area for some clearing. And they left us all the wood chips from the branches that they chipped up. So I'm going to have lots of wood chips to put around the paths and stuff. I've also finally been able to get in here with the mower, part of my ongoing battle against the creeping bellflower. But it means I can finally get a lot of this junk pulled out and it's going to be hauled away in the fall. And I still need to dig a trench here because we're supposed to have a hose tap over here. So a trench for a buried hose to go to the house and to here. And this is the old part of the old hose and what the old tap was attached to. Yeah, so that's going to be a thing. Not sure when, but it's going to be a thing. I finally got this area clear. Need to get the rest of it clear too, but I mostly needed access to these poppies. My goodness, they're looking so good. A couple days ago, had a fast little thunderstorm blow through, and it flattened the poppies. So I was able to put them in this. Oh, dragonfly! There's a little tiny dragonfly. It flew away. Okay, in this wire cage, so they'll stay up, and hopefully the bent stems won't kill it. I've also transplanted some winter squash in here. Still having some seeds showing up in that one tray, and I'm transplanting them. It's unlikely we'll get anything out of them, but here they are. They have a chance. Oh goodness, I'm being eaten alive by mosquitoes. It's insane. I'm being tripped by a cat too. So we have our strawberries over here that are managing, even getting a few strawberries now and then. And then we have, I'm happy to say, our corn is doing really well. They did not get crushed by the deluge, and I credit these hoops from keeping them from falling. But we've got tassels and we have silks, so we should have corn soon. And we also have this, two of them actually. This one, solar powered noisemaker that is motion sensor, set to go off at night to scare away any deer or raccoons. Potatoes got flattened a bit. These ones are starting to die back, so we should be able to start harvesting soon. These are the Viking ones. And then you have the Yukon Gold on this side. And, just today I found it's a tomato. A self-seeded tomato in among the potatoes. This bed, last year, 2 years ago, we had San Marzano tomatoes in this bed. So that's where the tomato would be from. And here we have the garlic, which is starting to die back. So we'll be harvesting that relatively soon. And we actually have Swiss chard. Look at that. It's coming up. I can't really weed in here until after the garlic is harvested. Yeah, so we It looks like a cell-seeded carrot in there. Two of them. No, two of them? I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, this bed will eventually get weeded, but not until the garlic is done. I'm quite happy with what's happening over here. It seems that onions and caraway get along very well. And the dwarf French marigold is doing pretty good. I've got, kohlrabi is starting to form. We got our little tomatoes over here, sweet chocolate bell peppers. There's a tiny, tiny Caspar eggplant. We had one flower, so I got one eggplant starting to form. Oh, hey frog, do you need help? Oh my goodness. Come on, little guy. Come on, little guy. No, no, no. There we go. There we go. Oh, don't go back in. There we go. And then we got the California Wonder Peppers over here blooming. And the Golden Boy celery, which is doing quite well. Just harvest a bunch every now and then. The onions on either side of it are doing so well, though. Okay, and here we have, these are the cabbages from transplants that I bought. There's a dozen of them, and they are doing really well under here. And they are forming heads. And I'm quite happy with how these are doing, especially considering the trouble I'm having with the other ones. I've adjusted things for the melons over here. So I got muskmelon, starting to train them up. Oh, got this mosquito trying to get me. Alright, yeah, so I've got the watering jars in the middle. That's watermelon over here. These are the transplants that I purchased. But we also got a couple more transplants of our own seeds. So these two are Siberian watermelon. And then I got two different types of melon over here. Just a few surviving seeds. And over here, there are still some turnips left, the white turnips. And it does look like the red noodle beans are actually growing. So I've got this trellis set up and I'm starting to try to train them up the trellis. They're bigger than they got last year, so it does look like we'll actually get some beans this year from the red noodle beans. Onions are doing okay on this side. And then on this side we've got the daikon radish. And the onions on this side are doing better than the other side. I'm not sure why that is. I believe they're the same onion, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, so that's what's going on in this bed. I am really happy with what's going on with these nasturtiums. They are blooming so enthusiastically. These are the ones that I direct seeded. And then we have what was supposed to be red dwarf cosmos, but they're red white dwarf cosmos instead. These are the Cracker Jack marigolds. I've been distracted by a Gouda. Hello, Gouda. Yeah. No, don't do that. Get off. So this bed, I've had to add more rods to the hoops to make it taller. I added more just to stop that. Because the onions were starting to push through the netting and get all bent up. But the bush beans are getting nice and big and starting to actually form pods. So we should be able to start harvesting beads soon. And on this side, you can kind of see how the onions were getting broken up at the end. Hello. Oh, you sweet thing. Yeah. Yeah. So they're still trying to get through the netting, but, it's not as bad now. Won't be able to make it any higher because the netting isn't wide enough for it, but at least we can protect it from the deer. Okay, and over here we've got our seed onions. The surviving ones are blooming. We've got our rainbow mix carrots in the middle. The Scarlet Nantes carrots that were planted later. And then we have the spring blush peas, which are basically finishing up for the season. I'm leaving some to collect the seed later. And haven't been getting a lot out of these. Mostly it's been enough that I can harvest a handful and eat them while I'm doing the rest of my rounds. Not enough to make it worth coming in. But we did have a single cucumber germinate. So I transplanted it into here. That's the Eureka cucumber. It's a variety that can be for fresh eating or for pickling. and it's the only one we've got. Meanwhile, got another motion sensor noisemaker here. Going to be adding more more cardboard over this. And the tree guys were sweet enough to drag over this 18-foot length of the spruce that they took down for us. And these are the 4-foot lengths that will be for the ends of the bed. So that is a huge help. Much appreciated that they did this. All right, and in this area, I have not been refilling this barrel very often and doing the watering out here because we've had so much rain lately that the water table is high, so I haven't been doing that. But we do have gooseberries. You can see the berries in there, so that's good. And then this apple tree is doing all right. And so are the hascaps. They're still very small, but I should probably water them. Anyways, yeah, I don't even have the hose set out because we haven't been doing it. And I finally went through here with the loppers and I got rid of all the poplar that was invading, so we can finally finish mowing this area. I got our one surviving purple raspberry, doing all right. Got our 2 mulberry. This one is doing okay. And this one is still just a little tiny thing. Hopefully, I mean, it is getting bigger, but hopefully it'll survive the winter and we'll have 2 mulberries. But at least we'll have the one. And the sea buckthorn, the 2, they're doing all right. I think it'll be a couple years before we see anything come of them. Find out whether we have any male or female. The high bush cranberry, surviving. The deer have not eaten them. That's always encouraging. And oh my goodness, would you look at all these berries on the silver buffalo berry. We had lots of flowers this year, but not all of them have berries. So this one has, I'm going to assume that has something to do with lack of pollination or something like that. Because I'm not seeing, oh, this one has some berries. But most of them, they all bloomed this spring. I think they all bloomed. But not all of them have berries. Oh, this one has some berries. And this one at the end here is not doing so good, but that's probably because it's drowning. This area is lower and gets filled with water. And our crab apples, got those forming nicely. My brother was a sweetheart and he went under here, cleared all the low-hanging branches so that they won't try to kill us when we try to mow under here. And so we're getting some nice apples forming. And this is the one that is not edible for humans. The grosbeaks love them though. I'm not seeing as many apples on here. But amazingly, this one actually looking healthier than it usually does. It does have some kind of a fungal disease. You can see the yellow leaves and the spots. But it's doing a bit better. Alright, now we get into the old kitchen garden. We had probably the best rhubarb year ever. We just can't even eat it much. Got the strawberries in here, doing surprisingly well. And the mint that finally showed up is also doing really well. I am so happy with how the summer squash is doing. So I've been training them up these posts. Got flower buds happening. Got one patty pan over here. Yep. Hard to see. But no male flowers on this one, so it probably won't make it. And this one, the yellow zucchini, some male flowers did finally show up, so these might actually have been pollinated. I tried to hand pollinate, but it's hard to get in there. But yeah, so they're doing really well. And then I thinned by transplanting, so here's one summer squash that ended up over here. It's blooming. And then there's a little tiny one over here. And there's a Gouda. And this one is actually doing much better. It's still very small, but yeah, I'm really surprised. And I'll go in. Excuse me, Gouda. I don't want to step on you. Alright. So these strawberries are doing alright. Got some berries forming. I had some this morning. More thinning by transplanting. Of the 4 I put in here, 2 are surviving. The chicory is looking pretty good. The fennel is just very top heavy, so it's not really forming bulbs. And I'm gonna have to find a way to support these. They're just flopping right over. They're even going to seed. So I don't know if that's normal for growing fennel. I know they're supposed to form bulbs, and I'm not seeing any. So I don't know what went wrong with it. Then over here, got the mystery garlic that came up. We've got self-seeded chamomile. We've got self-seeded tomatoes. And then there's the teeny tiny dwarf peas, which are, I'm sure, way smaller than they're supposed to be. But they're trying. And then the mystery flower. And then this bed also has a bit of a surprise for me. Because, okay, along this side, I planted parsley to make up for onions that had died. And then there's the beets in the middle. And then more onions that I planted along this side that I'm realizing are not like, I mean, they're alliums, but they're not onions for eating. Hang on a second. They're a flowering allium of some kind. I have no idea where they came from, because we never had them. So I'm guessing there's seeds that go back from before we moved here. So this is an onion that seeded itself. So it's blooming because it's its second year. But this is not the same kind of onion. So it is an allium that is ornamental, which I like. I am happy. The oregano is starting to bloom. So both types. I should probably take this cover off so they have room. So the lemon balm, the sage, it's hard to see, but the Russian tarragon is in there. And the savory, where's the thyme? Oh, it's being buried by the oregano. And then there's the walking onions. And those daffodils are managing. These are doing pretty healthy here. And then last of all, let us check out the grapes. Are doing fantastic this year. They're just like really growing. And the trellis I've given up on, but I'm trying to kind of direct it to go over the spirea instead of over the steps. But there are many very juicy looking clusters of grapes under here, and I am very happy. And hopefully we'll get some before the raccoons get them. So there, I think that's it. Well, yeah, that is it for our July 2026 garden tour. I keep feeling like I've forgotten something. So I have to get in here and clear all this stuff too. But it's not as urgent anymore. At least I've got this part done. And yeah, this is pretty good. Things are behind. I mean, I should be having regular harvests by now, and that's just not happening. But it should start happening soon. And well, we'll see what's going on with the melons and stuff. The chances of them having time to fully mature is questionable. But we'll have corn, we'll have potatoes, we'll have garlic, we'll have green cabbages. So I'd say we're doing pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, so this is it. This is our July garden tour. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.